What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network, where all men and boys are welcome and our issues are treated with the respect that they deserve, where excellence is our goal and our enemies are called out by their names. A place to remind you that you are loved, that you do have intrinsic value, and suggest that you do yourself no harm. I want to pick up where I left off in the last episode. This will be part 2, to touch on a few things that I had forgotten about during the first section, in that when I was listening to the young guys talking about the one guy's ex-girlfriend, who effectively, for those of you who didn't catch the first episode, basically there was 2 young guys, probably late teens, very early 20s. One of them had a girlfriend for a while, everything was cool, and then some other guy started pushing up on her. She thought this other guy was simply a better move for her, so she sabotaged the relationship, basically, and went off with the other guy. Well, fast forward, I think it was 4 or 5 months later, she's calling my man, the ex, blowing him up all the time, text messages, calling him at inappropriate times, sending him nudie pics, basically trying to get him to reminisce about when times was good before she decided to sabotage the relationship, to go off and try a new option. And I wanted to touch on that piece a little more specifically in terms of what that actually is, because this young man's story is not unusual. It's not rare. It is far too commonplace, but it's something we rarely ever talk about as men, because, to be honest, outside of places such as this channel, there are very few places men and boys can go to air out our grievances and be heard and be considered a serious topic. What happened in that case was something that is known in the red pill space as hypergamy. Now, hypergamy is an instinct that lives inside of every woman who's ever lived and who's ever going to live. Well, basically, she wants to elevate herself to the highest possible status. This could be money, fame, but mostly for the sake of security. It's not necessarily good or evil, but it's genetic inside of all women, because basically women are the ones who have the kids. We understand that. Despite any propaganda in the modern era that says men can get pregnant. More on that probably another video. But women have the children. Being pregnant is probably, with the exception of being injured, the most vulnerable a woman is ever going to be in her lifetime. She has to be cared for, watched after, and she can't move as quickly. So in the days of the saber-toothed tiger and the mastodon and the woolly mammoth, back then, a pregnant woman could get trampled to death by a wild animal, and that'd be into her and the unborn child. So she, in her mind, when she was picking a mate, had to pick the best guy for the job who could defend her against other men who might have wanted to take advantage and or wild animals, just to get the kid here. Now, after the kid was born, at that point, the hypergamous aspect was, okay, which of these guys in this tribe, in this city, in this village, are the ones most successfully going to be able to provide for me and my offspring? Is he going to be able to keep a roof over our heads? Is he going to be able to keep warm clothes on our backs? Is he going to be able to keep food on the table? Again, this is not a good or evil thing. It's just a necessity thing as far as they are concerned. Now, you can't breed that out of women because it's so deeply ingrained inside of them. The problem is today, hypergamy, which again is a natural aspect, is out of control due to social media, due to the fact that women have almost unlimited sexual options at the very least. But it boils down to, and it manifests itself in the modern era, since we're long removed from our caveman ancestors, into BBD. I don't mean the 90s era pop group that was former New Edition members. I mean BBD, the bigger, better deal, or what I call shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome means, ooh, over there is a shiny new guy. I don't know nothing about him. I don't know his character. I don't know nothing about this guy. But he might be better looking than the current boyfriend. He might make a little more money than the current boyfriend. He might live in a better neighborhood, might drive a flashier car, you name it. So, A woman without integrity will on purpose sabotage her situation to go check that out. Basically, it manifests itself in a couple of different ways, but more often than not, it's her behaving like a complete a-hole. The whole point for that is to get you, the boyfriend, who's done nothing wrong in most cases, to get so angry, you break up with her. What this does is, well, two things at once. The first thing it does is it gives her the free of charge victim points all over social media, and it gives her the opportunity to run to the new guy's arms with tears in her eyes, to be comforted and or smashed into a million pieces. She wins either way. You lose. Hypergamy boils down into a two-part mating strategy, gentlemen. The guy she thinks of are alpha, strong, tall, muscles, money. They get to smash with very, very little problem. And the guy she sees as beta. Maybe you're not her first choice, but you're reliable. You got a good job, you pretty solid work ethic. You're good around kids, so maybe if she got pregnant, you'd be there. You wouldn't abandon her in the middle of the night, holding the bag, so to speak. But that's the two parts. Women want the most alpha guy they're sexually attracted to, but they want a beta guy, if that alpha guy doesn't stick around, to help raise the kid and pay for it. Unfortunately, fellas, the modern woman is very ungrateful. And being ungrateful gives rise to the "what have you done for me lately" style mentality. Never mind that you were there for her when her grandfather died. Never mind that you were there to comfort her when her mom lost all her hair during chemo. Never mind the fact that you could have been one of those stepped-on fathers who came in, got stepped on, and helped pay for some other guy's kid left behind. Never mind all that. What you do for women in the modern era, especially here in the West, is artificially forgotten about the split second that you do it. Hate to tell you. You buy her something, you take her somewhere, you do something for her, automatically her mind hits the eject button as if it never happened. You have an argument with her, she's not going to say, you know what, I shouldn't be tripping because this guy's done this, he's done that, he's done this, he's done that, he holds down the bills, he treats me well, he could have been cheating on me, but he don't. No. All of those things that you do and have done will be conveniently put up on a shelf and locked in a box. Because it's not what you did back then, it's what have you done for me lately. So what, you rescued me and my kids and my dog from a burning building 5 minutes ago? What have you done for me in the past 3 minutes? That's the mentality that you're dealing with. And the problem with men is we love to invest because we're risk prone, because to the victor go the spoils. And so when you understand that only bank accounts and financial products accumulate interest, you remind yourself that investing in a woman you aren't related to, or who isn't a employee on your payroll, is often a losing proposition. It's like pouring water in a bucket that's got a hole in the bottom. You keep pouring water in there, but good luck keeping it in there. It's an exercise in futility, way more often than it's not. It will never be enough, because women don't love you for who you are. They love you for what you can do for them, and or what you do to them. It's sad but true. And many of you have that story. Many of you have that as a part of your autobiography. How you fed into a woman, you fed into her, you planted seeds, you tried to bring her up to your level. And when it came time, she still jumped ship. My advice to all men, especially young guys like those guys at the store I was at, was to take women off the pedestal they never belonged on. Remind yourself they're just people. They're not that ridiculous fiction we're taught as little boys that girls are sugar and spice and everything nice. Anybody who's ever watched women who don't like each other pretend to be friends understands how that dynamic works. Think about it. Hollywood didn't spend millions of dollars making a movie called Mean Boys, but they made a damn sure lot of money with Lindsay Lohan making a movie called Mean Girls, because that's the real truth of the matter. Women have friends as long as they're useful. And then they too are discarded for a new batch. Think about it. The girl you kick it with right now, she's probably on her 4th rotation of friends since elementary school. Just understand one thing, fellas. Every day is election day. Whether or not you're old enough to vote right now, watch this video or not, doesn't matter. Every day is election day in a sense, because men vote with our time, we vote with our attention, and vote with our wallets. Women vote with their cooperation and one or more of their moist holes. The guy they want, the guy they're really attracted to, they're on his program. And he has almost unlimited access to them of an intimate nature. A guy who likes a woman, he'll devote some time, his attention, and his wallet to trying to make that work. So if the woman that you're with, I said it before, I'll say it again. Women build barriers for men they don't like. And they destroy barriers for the men that they do. If the girl you like, she stays flaking on dates, and she make you jump through all these hoops, and she's got all these rules, and you gotta take me on 5, 6, this. If you gotta work as hard to be with her as a grad student does to get a master's degree, she don't like you like that. And you need to find somebody else worth your time, money, and attention. Here's a simple test you can give yourself, in case you're wondering where you are with this particular female you got an eye on. Here's the question. Would she make Idris Elba jump through all these hoops? If the answer is no, you need to cut her off entirely. Necessarily block her. You don't have to necessarily do that, but don't call her no more, bro. Don't DM her, nothing. If y'all are classmates, okay, cool. Go to class, do your schoolwork. Ignore the hell out of her. Because all you are is like a TV show that she's DVR'd 5 or 6 episodes she ain't watched yet. You're not a priority. You're not must-see TV to this woman. You're not the type of TV show where she fly home from work risking to get a ticket from the police to make sure she's home by 5 o'clock so the show about to come on. You're the one she'll get to when she gets around to it. And no man, no boy, no teenage boy should ever tolerate being a woman's 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 8th, 12th choice. Because if you tolerate that, you will be mistreated for 99% of your interaction with this woman. Go for the woman who's going for you. Go for the woman who is going out of her way to let you know she's safe ground for your plane to land on. And when it comes to exes, remind yourself that's your ex for a reason. Yeah, there was probably some good times, some fun times. Maybe she was awesome in bed. Who knows? I don't know. But remember, gentlemen, women only tell the truth under 3. Well, I'll go 4 for extra credit, but there's 3 for sure. Number 1, when a woman is upset. That's when she'll say what she's really feeling. Number 2, when she's tired of hinting. Remember, men speak overtly, meaning we say what we mean we say. Women speak in codes and riddles, and they say one thing but mean 4 or 5 other things, and they hope you get the message. As if you're a comic book character that can read minds or something. When you don't get the hint, when all those Zales and Jared circulars with the page 4 opened up on the coffee table circled in red ink over that bracelet that she wants, sitting on the table for about a week and a half, you never bought the bracelet, now she's pissed off. Why are you mad? If you want a bracelet, say you want a bracelet. Charles Xavier is a comic book character. But when you don't get the hint, quote unquote, that's when she gets mad and tells the truth. And number 3, if her life's in danger. There's a weapon to her throat, gun to her head. Yeah, she'll cough it up then. Begrudgingly. And yeah, let's go 4th place, extra credit. There's a woman somewhere on this planet who has something close to integrity and will tell the truth without risking harm to herself. So, needle in a haystack, go find her if you want, if you can. In closing, gentlemen, you have an obligation when it comes to your ex-girlfriends to leave them in the past where they did their best to leave you. Because most men will tolerate bad behavior from a woman in the hopes that things get better. Women leave the relationship before they become your ex-girlfriend. Weeks can go by, months, years can go by, and she's just going through the motions, being a complete belligerent asshole behavior-wise, using sex as a bargaining chip and a weapon, or the lack thereof as a weapon. And then for you guys to get frustrated with it, and you go out and get your needs met elsewhere, now all of a sudden, after she's been knowingly treating you badly on purpose for an extended period of time, she'll now play the victim. I can't believe he cheated on me. I can't believe it. I can. You've been on purpose curving him for a month for sexual contact when that didn't used to be the case. And we don't justify infidelity here. Adults, or those who want to be treated as adults, should be adult enough to say, hey, I'm not getting what I need from this relationship. So A, let's fix the problem, or B, let's part ways. That's the adult way to handle it. But unfortunately, it's not the way it always goes. Be careful out here, gentlemen. When those ghosts from the past come knocking, your best bet is to keep the door closed on that opportunity. Because that's going to turn back into the nightmare you remember the last 3 or 4 days of that relationship. Don't fall for it, fellas. Leave her on the curb with the rest of the garbage. And with that said, that's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share this video with a friend. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth could set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.